Good morning, Hong Kong, and welcome back to another episode of Hong Kong Insurance 101. This week, we're looking at Maid insurance. If you're living in Hong Kong, then the chances are high that you employ a domestic helper, whether this is in the form of a maid or a chauffeur, a gardener, or even personal security and bodyguards. It is a fact of life that in Hong Kong, many families and individuals employ domestic workers. However, like all workers and employees in our city, domestic workers have certain rights and liberties under Hong Kong law. This can catch some employers off guard, especially if they are new arrivals to the city, as some people erroneously operate under the misapprehension that employing a domestic helper starts and ends at setting up an employment contract. This, unfortunately, is not the case. All employees in Hong Kong, including domestic helpers and household staff, must have insurance coverage against their risk of receiving an accident or injury in the routine course of their employment. This rule actually exists for any worker in Hong Kong, no matter what job they do, how long they've been doing that job, or how much they get paid. Any individual working in Hong Kong must be insured under an employee's compensation insurance policy. This type of insurance must be purchased by all employers and covers an employer's liability at law towards workers, staff, and employees who suffer an accident on the job. Domestic helpers are not exempt from this requirement. Domestic helpers must be covered by employees' compensation insurance, just the same as any other worker in the city. This insurance must cover the liability of the employer in respect to their domestic helper suffering an accident or injury while working. Under Hong Kong law, the only universally required form of business-related insurance is employees' compensation coverage. This means that as the employer of a domestic helper, you have no obligation or requirement to purchase any other form of insurance protection. While this may be true for your insurance protection, it is important that under Hong Kong labor law, there are additional regulations regarding the employment of domestic workers. For example, you are responsible for the costs of any medical treatment they may need while in your employ. So while you're not required to obtain health insurance for your domestic helper, opting to do so can save you money and paperwork in the long term, as you're not directly covering those costs out of pocket. It is possible to obtain domestic helper insurance that satisfies your EC insurance obligation and nothing else, and ensures that you have provided the minimum level of protection as required by Hong Kong law to your employee. It is also possible to obtain domestic helper insurance which greatly extends your coverage and offers a multitude of additional benefits to your helper, giving you and your domestic worker comprehensive assistance no matter what goes wrong. Fully comprehensive domestic helper insurance products in Hong Kong can include coverage for personal accident protection, health insurance, repatriation expenses, and even loan protection. The full benefits may not be apparent on first blush. Loan protection insurance, for example, does not sound like something an employer needs to be overly concerned about. After all, if a helper takes out a loan, then surely that's their issue and responsibility. Well, in Hong Kong, if a domestic helper takes out a loan, then the individual that they have taken the loan from may try to recover money from the helper's employer. Consequently, a benefit like loan protection insurance under a domestic helper insurance policy exists. There are lots of options for your helper insurance in Hong Kong, from the utilitarian and barren to the fully comprehensive. But no matter what you want or need, CCW can help you. That's us for this week. As always, we hope you have a happy and healthy weekend. Remember to like and subscribe to stay current with all our content as it comes out. And don't forget to ask CCW. We're simplifying your insurance.